Hi, I'm Phil Sizer. I'm a specialist in the self-management of chronic pain and the lead trainer from the Pain Association. Pacing and the 70% principle. In another film, we looked at the boom-bust cycle and how it can cause really big problems. So here's that graph again. As you can see, over time, pain kicks in sooner and sooner, and it takes longer and longer to recover from. It's a distressing situation where pain seems to fill life and be in control of everything. In this film, I want to look at taming that cycle so that you're back in control. The aim is to work towards a flatter, less jaggy graph with fewer booms and shorter busts. The approach I want to introduce here is generally known as pacing. I'm often told that pacing sounds like it's giving up or giving in. But in reality, it's the opposite. Pacing is a positive response to limitation. And it gives a way to do more, not less. I don't think it's giving in or up, because it's hard work. It takes effort. And it takes discipline, especially when you're getting going at the beginning. It means that you'll end up doing more, not less, and being more in control of your situation. So it's certainly not giving up or giving in. And if it is, it's giving up on pain being in charge, and it's giving in to a better way to deal with it. Pacing is a simple, familiar idea that involves thinking ahead so that you can achieve something that's important to you. For drivers, it means having a break once in a while so that they don't fall asleep at the wheel and crash. With money, pacing is similar to budgeting so that you don't run out of money before payday. For runners, pacing is about choosing the right speed so that they finish their race as fast as possible, but still in one piece. In pain terms, pacing means changing our relationship with pain. And simply put, it's stopping before pain stops you, or acting on the amber rather than the red light. I call it the 70% rule. I don't mean precisely 70%. That's hard to assess unless you've got dials in your head. I just mean 70% as a rough idea, as the point where you stop comfortably before pain stops you, so that you're not on your last legs, so that there's still something left in the tank. It means stopping before you start panicking to finish something. 70% is another way of saying soft limit. It's a point where you're still in control. Whereas if you carry on to 100%, you'll hit your hard limit, where control flies out the window. As an example, think of those bendy plastic rulers at school, where you could bend them so far. That's the soft limit. But then if you went a bit further, they'd snap, and that's the hard limit. As another example, and please don't do this at home, think of driving towards a cliff edge. Stop in plenty of time and you'll be okay and you can admire the view. That's soft limit. But if you carry on, it gets so scary as you near the edge of the cliff that you might be too stressed and frightened to brake, and over you go. And that's hitting a very, very hard limit. The result of working with 70%, of working with your soft limit, is that you don't boom, so you don't bust. Which means that you can be active again the next day and have another 70% active day. And if this keeps happening, the cycle of boom and bust starts to calm down. You'll start to feel more in control. You'll have more of a sense of choice. You'll be able to plan and predict better. Pain becomes less scary because you can do something about it. And with time, fear drops and confidence rises. So you end up doing more often. It's the opposite of giving up and giving in. The big practical question that everyone asks is, how do I know where my 70% is? Everyone is different, so your approach will probably be based on a mix of what you feel and what you know already. With body sensations, you might have a certain physical feeling that tells you that you're at the point to stop. That could be pain or a different kind of pain, or pain in a different place. With thoughts, you might notice certain thoughts that go with overdoing it, like thinking, I'll just do a bit more. Or I'll do a bit more because I sometimes get away with it if I'm lucky. With emotions, you might notice the point where you start to get frustrated or anxious or angry. Emotions are always telling you something, just like pain. With behaviour, as you near 70%-ish, you might start to speed up or slow down or get snappy with other people. But noticing things is hard if you're already focused on the job in hand, and lots of people tell me they often get carried away. So it's best to base 70% on what you know ahead of time and not wait to feel or notice things. And in the past, you might have noticed certain patterns that say an hour in the garden is okay, but not half a day. Or that certain jobs affect you in different ways. Experience means that you probably know your limits already. It might be that you just didn't want to notice them before. But if you really don't know, ask someone who knows you well, someone who cares about you. Because hopefully they'll tell you. And they've probably been telling you for a long time already. It might just be that you needed to hear this message from another source. The 70% rule is a simple but powerful idea that will help you to feel more in control, to tame that boom-bust cycle and start to beat pain. Being realistic, there will be times when things don't quite work out and times when you choose to do more. I'm not suggesting that you become a pacing robot and apply 70% to absolutely everything unrealistically. Pacing is not an exact science. It's more of a mindset in which you give yourself permission to work within your limits, using 70% and soft limit as your guide. And it doesn't just apply to physical jobs. It applies to absolutely everything and is especially important around stress. The 70% pacing principle is a really good one to be aware of and to apply however and whenever you can. It might just be that you haven't given yourself permission to apply it yet. 70% means that we need to start stopping, and to stop before it's too late, or simply to be kinder to yourself and to give yourself permission to do that. In another film, we'll look at the idea of baselines, which give a practical way to put the 70% soft limit idea into practice.